Right, welcome back. Now I'm joined by a whole bunch of our wonderful students from Communication Studies, Creativity and Communication. So, we'll begin with you.
Hi Beth, how's it going?
Very good.
My name's April. We, as a group, discussed what differences you see and have experienced between marketing tools used globally and over the world compared to tools that are used in New Zealand.
And you'd like me to talk a little bit more about that?
Just elaborate a little bit more on what differences you find between
Now or during your career?
Maybe now,
in the current
2009.
environment. Oh, okay. Well, first of all, in terms of technology that I use in this new building, it's unbelievably advanced. So the combination of having interactive whiteboards, which we have one of those over there, you might have them already at Unitec. But the interactive whiteboard, which I can demonstrate to you later, allows you to draw with a pen that's not really a pen on the whiteboard and save the drawings onto a PowerPoint or any other web interface that you might want to bring up to your computer. And then you can go away and change those, edit them, and save all the designs that you put on that whiteboard. So that's one tool that we have right here in the building. We have it in major quantities. So the whole building needs to get up to speed with it. But in terms of developing new products, which is what I do here, I have to investigate new product designs. And when we look at some of the ideas that come through the idea pipeline, you'll see that we have some concepts there that would require technology. So new product concepts, say for instance we have, I'll put one to you that you might be interested in. We have car insurance that we are offering a special discount to people for if they use a car that is environmentally friendly. So if it's producing lower emissions, we will give you a 10% discount on that insurance. Now that doesn't necessarily involve technology, but if you took it a step further and said, how do we measure what a person's doing in the car or with the car in a very efficient way? Well, you can use a tracking device to determine the GPS. And once you use GPS to determine the distance traveled and the speed of the car. And you can begin to give people discounts based on the way they drive. That's a whole new technology that uses GPS and other technologies in the device. And so I've been working with a New Zealand firm here who are very advanced in that. And I found them because I was looking for these technologies, and most of the people were importing them from overseas, from China. This particular company manufactures all of their technology, including the chips. Well, I think they bring in some of the chips, are all manufactured here in New Zealand, so I can be sure that their product is trustworthy in terms of the origin of it. And that's very important when you're looking at technology. That's one of the things I learned at Texas Instruments. And because I visited their manufacturing plants. So New Zealand has the opportunity to be very innovative because it's a small country, and the more quality that New Zealanders put into the technology, the more opportunity there is in the world for that technology. And there are a lot of companies in New Zealand, since I've been in this industry here, where the technology is taken up very readily because it's innovative and it's new and it has that quality element to it. So, yeah, I find New Zealand to be incredibly innovative in terms of the number of people. So if you compare, the size of the country with the number of innovations as compared to the US or other countries with really whopping large populations, New Zealand's doing pretty well.
Thank you.
My name's Natalie, nice to meet you. Our group wanted to know what creativity tool or technique that you think that you've used in regards to the idea pipeline that we can pick up for our communications in regards to creativity and communication.
Okay.
So I mean, like, what's something that you know that would work in every particular aspect that you come across? Or a tool or technique that you think that we should try out?
In your use or in your topic?
It could be in our topic if it's specific in regards to communications, or it could be something quite broad that you can use in any particular employment that you've found.
Oh, okay, yeah. One of the things that I've been looking at is the process that a person uses to evaluate ideas, or a team would use, a person or a team, usually it's a team, to evaluate ideas. And that can be used anywhere. You can use it in a classroom, you can use it in a business meeting. And the tools that I've looked at are from Edward de Bono. So you probably are familiar with those because I know Peter's reviewing those with you. But what I've created for the idea pipeline is a structured approach which has 4 phases. And the 4 phases are identified with the word idea as IDEA. And you'll see that if you've seen the brochure that Peter put together. I represents investigation, D, design, E, evaluate, and A, action. And you can use that in any scenario. You can go all the way to a detailed scientific project, or you can just do it in a simple process review. So the concept of having a simplified process that anyone can use in any way, but gives them a structure so that they can take an idea from start to finish, is what I would say would be the most usable tool that's presented in the idea pipeline that I've integrated in there. Yeah. And it's also easy to communicate because you've got the word identified with each of the phases. So you could help me with more on that. You might give me some good ideas on that. Good.
All right, we'll come back to this end.
Hi, my name's Grace. Thanks for having us here.
Hi, Grace.
And I was wondering, how did you manage to get your ideas pipeline idea throughout the whole company?
Well, we're still working on that, but I'll tell you how I'm doing it now. I started out knowing that if I put the idea pipeline up on our main homepage, that we would get hundreds of ideas and no one managing them because there were no managers in place for the management of those through that process. So I decided to start with small groups, and I worked with a sales team who were really ready. They had a lot of ideas and they needed a structured place to put them and a way to vote. And I started with them, and I started with another group inside our marketing reputation team. And now I'm working on a larger group called the NZI Claims team. Very big team, very big team. And so I'm working with those managers and introducing them to the pipeline and taking them step by step through the process of how they would actually engage their staff in idea capture and in idea management. So I'm doing it slowly, gradually, in an organic way. I started with them, and I started